Okay. Okay. Today is. Why don't I not know the date? Does it still recording? I think so. It's the July 8th, 2026. The reason why I'm starting with the date is because this is me, Harry Levine, recording my thoughts about the first July 8th. So it's the first 4 months I've been at my apprenticeship at the Carpenter's boat shop in Bristol, Maine. Just to do all that introduction as to say, like, what is my experience been like? What have I enjoyed? What have I not enjoyed? What am I feeling? Because I recorded my move up here because I was talking about my trip with my girlfriend up, because I did this really long snaky drive, and then I went to Vermont with her and her family, and then I came here and I was nervous, and then after a week I was kind of oh, I'm depressed or something. So now it's been 4 months. I guess I don't know if I've recorded something since. You guys can check out my JFK review or my 4 good movies or 6 movies that I recommended. But this is my reflection of my time here as an apprentice so far. We're about to go on a 2-week summer break, so this is sort of the halfway point of the apprenticeship. I think I already said that. But, I can start with the things that have happened versus the things that I wanted to happen. This is an apprenticeship. It's called the Carpenter's Boat Shop. It's about learning how to build boats, learning how to do a bunch of different things. And I think to that end, I can't tell how I've improved or changed. I don't think, this is sort of what is the thing where they're easy to learn, lifetime to master? I think that's a lot of different things. But this is I feel the easy to learn is where I'm focusing on right now, where it's I am very hesitant, in my motions that you need to make for sort of cutting wood or shaping wood or even any kind of motion in working with your hands. They're sort of just confident, sort of smooth motions that you're supposed to make that indicate some kind of confidence or assuredness or something. And I feel there's a fine line between a sure motion and a mechanical motion, but also just a loose motion where you can't really follow a line. And today, I was noticing I was making more of a specific commitment to do a mechanical motion of that's just because I was using this orbital sander, which is the most straightforward thing you can use. I could have done that on the first day here, so I can't really indicate if I have a better technique at it. But basically you're it's a sander, so it just makes your piece of wood smoother. And I was sort of doing it in a repetitive motion instead of sort of checking the aura of the piece of wood to see if it looked good, which I think I still might do. It's just sort of I'm trying to transition into doing mechanical motions that when I'm doing wood things and see how that make me feel. So in this set of time, in these 4 months, I actually haven't done as much woodworking as I thought, because the first month, maybe the first month and 2 weeks, we did all woodworking. We were, we built a toolbox, or I guess I built a toolbox. Everyone built their own toolbox. Everyone built their own stool. That was the very first thing we did. I may have even said that in the opening video. But ever since then, it's been we built a boat. That was the big thing. We built a skiff. This is the whole thing, the Carpenter's Boat Shop. We build these skiffs that were designed by a woodworker, by a carpenter. I don't know why I sort of took me a while to get there, by a carpenter on Monhegan Island, which is kind of cool because Monhegan Island's really cool. But Monhegan Island, and that design was sort of passed down to our boat shop. So now we build 9.5 and 11 foot, or 9 and 11 foot skiffs, which are just like little rowboats that row you out to your bigger boat, or they're just rowboats. And so I helped to build one of those, and obviously, like, that was because I have no skills. Like, I wasn't assigned to do much, but that was necessary because, like, even from what I was assigned to do, it was really hard and I kind of struggled. But I don't know. I mean, I think, like, I have this sort of thing that is sort of like that, because, like, I wasn't doing mechanical motions and we're sort of starting with the motion. Like, I never really had a sense of completeness about the work I was doing because it always looked kind of off, or there was something that didn't feel quite right. And so you just have this sort of, like, lingering feeling that never, like, subsided. And it made me feel sort of just, like, fraudulent, I guess. Sort of, like, not really, like, feeling like I'm part of it, actually. Like, I'm actually doing, like, because the thing is, like, obviously, as much as you're learning, you also want to feel useful in some way. Like, you want to actually feel like you're doing the necessary work. So I feel like I was learning. I was doing learning. And when I was building this boat, it was like, ooh, this is hard. Like, this is hard. Like, I don't really want to go to work right now, but I'm doing it. And that's kind of what I expected. But then, and that was kind of like, whoa, this is hard. This is fun. This is scary. Like, I don't know if I like this. I don't really know how I feel. This is, like, kind of pushing me hard. And, you know, I've been thinking about my weakness and my strengths the past couple weeks. I think I'm strong in some aspects, but I'm weak in a lot of aspects. Like, I can't cook. I can barely clean. I can't do most things with my hands. I'm really bad. But I feel like I have been, like, working to develop them, not even as strengths, but as things that I'm like, okay, I can just do them and not be so deer in the headlights. Because the first month I was very deer in the headlights. But I think the balance is, like, when you're deer in the headlights, you kind of need something to snap out of it. And what was nice is because, like, okay, I kind of want to backtrack, but just to finish this point, like, you need a lot of support when you're struggling, obviously. And the point of the apprenticeship is, like, to have this sort of group of like-minded individuals who are working towards the same goal, who will lift each other up. And that has definitely come to fruition, like, beyond my expectations. Like, the woodworking, the work aspect has been a little, like, surprisingly lax, I guess, is sort of what I'm leading to. But the apprentices, like, our sort of, like, relationship has been above and beyond my expectations. I am really kind of amazed by how nice and smart and funny and, like, hardworking and respectful everyone is. I feel like, you know, everyone is a human being. Like, it's not like we're all, like, trying to be, like, robots, but, you know, so obviously not everyone all the time is everything I just said, but everyone I really respect and I really like. And I feel like I'm so happy to meet people in general where I feel like, because you get such a peek into their lives, it feels so, like, overwhelmingly large. Like, there's so many facets to people's lives that I feel like you have to kind of find a way in to, like, get to know. And, like, obviously, you know, there are many times when I'm around a lot of people, but there's a difference when you feel like you're a part of their lives, as much as you're a part of theirs. I think it's just like once you get to connect with people and get to know them and you feel like a part of it, not outside of it, like a part of it, people's inner lives become really fascinating because they're like tied up in your inner life. And like their anxieties are your anxieties, at least for the moment. So I really enjoy that. And maybe it's like it's more of like a reflection of the world we live in type of thing. Like there's sort of like not really a hopelessness. Like there's a hopefulness in the hopelessness. Like everyone here is so hopeful, but that's sort of because everything feels so insane. And not insane, like insane in every way we all know as like right now, but more in the like interpersonal of like, it just, I don't really know how to phrase it, but it just feels like these are people who want some measure of control in their lives and they can't get it anywhere. Like there's so much that like people can't access in like for their own heart. Like people feel like they can't, I don't know, I'm speaking so abstractly. All I'm saying is that like, people here have a lot of dreams. They like want a lot, and it's really hard to get what they want in other places, like, you know, a city or something at this moment for them. I mean, obviously I'm only speaking for me, but it seems like everyone here seems to like tap into some dream they had when they were younger or even right now. And like, this can help fulfill it because it is, again, a boat shop that's, I mean, it's in the woods, but it's very put together, very idyllic. Like this is a project of one couple, Bobby and Ruth Ives, who basically started this as like a dream of their own. And that expanded into this full-bodied apprenticeship that really like allows us to have the experiences that I'm talking about. And this was just someone's idea 40 years ago. So that is like the root of inspiration that really kind of gets people going. So like there's just been a lot of camaraderie. Like we've been trying to do a lot. I mean, part of what's cut against that is I've been having to do a lot of like, I don't know. I'm like, there's so much that, because there's so much time like basically I don't spend that many weekends. Like I spend maybe half my weekends here in Maine and the rest are just, or here in Bristol, Maine. Like the rest have just been kind of out and about. Like I've been in New York a lot because I, you know, was just living there and seeing friends and seeing my girlfriend. And I've been, I guess that's that's the main thing. And then there's just, what else has been happening? Oh, there's just been like lots of like my parents came up and a bunch of stuff and my girlfriend came up. My girlfriend's been up a bunch of times. So there's just been like a lot of like change and nothing kind of feels static. But all that's to say is that I sort of got sidetracked. But all of the general like, you know, there's, even with all of these different moving parts in my life that are just outside of this apprenticeship that are not necessarily serious, but like I want to maintain my friendships. I want to be feeling like I want to feel connected to places outside of just Bristol, Maine. Like there still is a really intense feeling of like we want to be with each other. And I'm not sure why. I think it's just like we have like dedicated time for like our well-being as like a project. Like people want to hang out with each other. People want to like follow up on things. People want to like do things together. So I think that's really nice. And it's kind of what I expected like in college, like when I went to college. So I'm really happy about that. I did not expect that at all. And I mean, that's just like, obviously that may change. And I think there's some other just sort of like general notes, which is like, I haven't been swimming as much as I've liked. Like, I know that sounds so like selfish, but like, it's been too cold, which is crazy. Like, it's honestly maybe a good day, but it's like 66. Oh, it's going to be warm tomorrow. It's like 66 always, which is awesome. But for swimming, it's like, okay, that's actually really cold. But it's crazy how fast time feels, or maybe how slow. I don't know. It's just like weird being somewhere where the seasons are so visible. Like when I was in New York, you just get a lot of pollen and you're like, okay, it's spring. I need to like rub my eyes in the office right now and like take a big dump. Oh my God. I remember, I don't want to get into that, but when I was working for the parks, oh my God, I'd be in that bathroom like, woo, but not even like, dude, that was some scary. But also, yeah, but that was funny because that was Central Park. I was working in Central Park, and it was like, that was more seasonality than almost anywhere. But here is just crazy. There's so much season. And it's a little sad because it's like, I used to walk a lot at night. I still try to walk, but there are so many mosquitoes and horseflies. Like, you can't, if you want to do anything like cutesy, like, I think I might just start walking on the road. But because if you don't walk on the road, like, you're going to get bitten to hell. And, you know, my girlfriend's experience this when she was here. You just get bitten to hell. And it's kind of funny because it's like you're waiting for the summer and the winter, but then the summer's here and you're like, fuck, okay. But, you know, it's not that bad. Like, it's really beautiful if you can tolerate it, but there is always something to tolerate. Like, you know, I like how prepared everyone is for, you know, making you feel like this isn't like some idyllic thing. There's always ticks. You have to be careful. Ticks are worse now than ever, it seems like. You know, so there's stuff like that. And I feel like there's some days where you're just having, like, when there have been days when, like, okay, I got a little off the chronology, the timeline, but basically we were building boats for like a month, or building a boat for a month. And then we sort of got into this like sort of restore phase where every 2 weeks we had a group, and then the groups would switch off. So one group was working on essentially like sanding boats and painting boats that were going to be sold. They were new boats. One group was working on restoring old boats, which also meant sanding and painting old boats, but maybe like gluing using epoxy, like new parts to old boats because that boat was rotting. Or there was sort of like this is sort of a campus essentially. There's like 10 different buildings, probably more, and so there was also one group that focused on like moving some boats around, or moving this around, or mowing the lawn, or cleaning this thing out, or painting this thing, or doing sort of more odd jobs, or also like deliveries for the boat shop, or pickups for the boat shop, or sort of stuff like that. So my group ended up doing the last thing for the most time. So I ended up doing a lot of like odd jobs for about like a month or a month and a half, where I was like picking up boats, carrying stuff around, kind of just hanging out. It seemed like I was just hanging out, like cleaning boats. I was doing a lot of cleaning, which was kind of fun. I liked the cleaning, but it was nice. It was really relaxing because I feel like I've had my first canker sores in my mouth for the first time in like a while, because I've just been getting stressed about like maybe my life after the boat shop, but also like, you know, I have a bunch of plans coming up, and all of it's been kind of stressful. But I feel like in that period, it was really relaxing to get up and go to work, which is like such a rarity. And it was kind of funny because like when I was building boats, you still had the responsibility and the timeline of it sort of like hanging on you, and it wasn't like as stressful as like when I was at my last job and I had these like tight deadlines and I wouldn't do the work and I would have to stay up the night before and kind of do it like I was in college. And this is like, just more relaxed. Like even this week so just to finish it, we're building boats. Then we were kind of doing these like odd jobs, restoring boats, painting boats. And that kind of just finished up. Like that was sort of like 2 to 3 months of, maybe 2 months of just sort of like, everyone basically like, it was a lot of painting. I know I already said painting, but it was like putting new coats of bottom paint on boats, which was something that was really helpful for me to learn how to do, because painting is really interesting and kind of hard. I mean, everything is hard. I think that's the other thing, where it's just like nothing I have real like natural talent at. I think I'm kind of just like, if you're hesitant at anything, you just won't be able to execute. Like, I think maybe if I developed some kind of like confidence and feeling of like I know what I'm doing, then it would kind of come more easily. And I can feel that a little bit, but anyway, like, so that sort of period has wrapped up, and now in this last week before we're going on break, we're building Adirondack chairs. And in this Adirondack chair sort of moment, I don't really remember what I was going to say. I'm going to be honest. I like kind of realized it that I didn't remember what I was going to say. But anyway, all that is to say that I have been pretty overwhelmed by how wonderful it's been. I do think like these past couple weeks have been hard for me, just because I don't know if I'm on autopilot or something. Like I just feel I still feel confused. Like I think I wanted to be pulled into some direction, but because I feel so similarly to how I did when I started, like I think I wanted to be pulled in a direction. Like I kind of in the back of my head was like, ooh, I'm going to like be working on a boat next year, or I'm going to be like secretly a carpenter next year, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. And I feel like I haven't had that kind of pull yet. Like I've been kind of waiting for that moment, or what I thought was that moment, to like spark me up, where I would be like, this is my calling or whatever. But there have been some observations I've taken away from working with wood, like I love working where I don't have to use my brain in the way of like sending emails. I love fucking doing that. Like I love it. It's so fun. My issue is I'm not good at it, so I don't think I could do it as a profession, but maybe. I just feel like the problem with it is like, this is a perfect scenario if you want to do this kind of work, where you're like doing work, but it's kind of low stakes in the fact that like, I'm working in a nonprofit. This is a nonprofit. So it's not like, there isn't, I just sort of said nonprofit, but there's not a profit motive. So that means like you're not as stressed about like getting the necessary work done to do. I'm not saying I slack off. I'm just saying that there is a feeling of like you do your work and then you're done. You do your work and then you're done. Like there's no like incentive to do more. There really isn't. Like if you want to do more of your own volition, you are totally welcome to do that. And they give you all this free time to do your own personal projects. But I love not being on the computer for my job. I fucking love it. I love it. It's literally like so fucking healing. Like every time I'm like sanding or whatever, and I'm like standing, and I literally was standing there. I was like, oh my God, this could be like I'm at a standing desk, but I'm just sanding. It's great. It's just like so nice. It's so nice. But it's not to say it's, like, easy. It's really stressful mentally, especially because, like, sometimes you feel like you're making a mistake and you're kind of, like, marinating in that mistake, but you have to keep going. Like, it's not, like, the fun part is not the monotony of it. It's the fact that I'm not looking at a computer. Like, it's literally just that simple. Like, I cannot look at a computer. It is so goddamn annoying. I don't know what I'm going to do because it's like all my goddamn skills were writing or whatever. So I just don't know. I just don't know. But I'm really happy to like have learned about that as like a potential thing, because I don't know what I'm going to do with myself, but I just don't know. Like, I just don't goddamn know, because I think I have to do a computer, but we'll see. And I don't know. And like, sometimes it's nice because it's like, there are two aspects of this life, which I've talked about at length with personal people, is like all of why I was talking about like the work of like the boat work and then like the social work. There are two jobs here. One is to like work on the actual projects of like the wood and like the physical projects of like boats and all that. The other is to be a social individual in this place. And like, my strongest work is as like a social individual. That's where like I get the bread, you know? And that's really fascinating because like, that's really fascinating because it is like my job. And there are a lot of days that have just flown by because it's like I wake up at 8. We work from 8 to 4:30. We have a break every day at 10 for a 20 to 30 minute break called tea time. Then we have a lunch from 12:30 to 1:30. Then that sort of maybe varies because we might have an hour to do chores. But anyway, work till 4:30. And then, okay, so 5:30 is dinner, which is like, okay, that's so early, but then people hang out. People love to hang out. So then they hang out from like 5:30 to like 8 or 9 or even goddamn 10. So then you go into your room after your day and you're like, wait, I just was like working in quotes from 8 to 10. And then it's like, whoa, then the outside world comes calling. Then it's like, you know, my girlfriend or some of my friends from back home. And it's like, whoa, I am spent, bro. I am spent. So it's really interesting. Like, cause it is like, this is like a very, full enclosed world here. So I love that. But because like, I feel like that was a vibe for about 2 months, but that has broken for the last month. Like, I don't think that has existed. Because everyone is now starting to transition into doing their own thing. Like, everyone has their dreams. So, like, we're sort of all trying to do that. I mean, I'm not saying, like, our dreams means, like, me leaving to go to New York every other week or whatever. But that's... basically what I'm saying is this last month socially has not felt like that sort of, like, 8 to 10 thing. It's been a little more, like... Okay, the last thing I'll say, because I have a minute and a half, is there was a period where... we sort of had these big trips. Like in August, we're going to have this expedition. But in June, we all went to different islands. And then for 3 days and 3 nights, we stayed on them by ourselves. And I'll have a vlog. I have a bunch of videos that I need to edit. I'm just bad at editing. I have a bunch of videos. Oh, but I feel like that possibly changed our social structures, because in that experience, I really learned how to, or at least like experienced being alone with myself and enjoying that a lot. And like a lot of people now are sort of like, I mean, at least I'm like, oh, I'm totally happy to be by myself. Like, I totally enjoy it. And I have been like that, but there's just been times when I haven't. Like, I haven't wanted to feel alone, or I haven't wanted to be alone. And mostly it's just come down to like, oh, I've been getting into this one fucking book by Ursula K. Le Guin. Well, I was reading Count of Monte Cristo on the island, but I am now into this Ursula K. Le Guin book, The Dispossessed, that I need to finish. But anyway, this is like I have to cap it at 30 because Google won't let me edit it for longer. But this is my reflection of the first 4 months, halfway there, Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all for supporting me. If you're watching this, thank you. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you.